sila si kaHELPER. Narito ako para niyo maging helper. To help is my priority.
Former lead counsel for the World Bank. She turned whistleblower, attorney Karen Hudes.
Karen Hudes, could you give the audience a little background on yourself?
Yes, I'm a lawyer and an economist, and I worked in the legal department of the World Bank for 20 years. I did what a lawyer inside a bank is supposed to do, which is when the financial information was getting fiddled, I reported it up the corporate ladder. I went to the audit committee. When that didn't work, I went to the U.S. Treasury Department. When that didn't work, I went to the U.S. Congress. When that didn't work, I went to Ben Bernanke. When that didn't work, I went to the rest of the world.
I heard that name.
Yeah, and when that didn't work, I went to the rest of the world. And that's where we are now. We're with the rest of the world. That there is a special trust that contains just about all of the world's gold. It was established by Ferdinand Marcos. This gold, people want to know what the gold is. You're
referring to the president of the Philippines, of the former president of the Philippines who died in '89, correct?
That's correct. That's who, except, it's not clear about the exact date of his death because he had a cousin who, he was removed. He was removed by the CIA. It was not by a popular uprising. You know how the CIA stages these things. And he was sent off to Hawaii. But he had expected that this was going to happen, and he had gotten his cousin to stand in for him. So he was it was his cousin that was in Hawaii, captive.
Yeah.
But anyway, what Ferdinand Marcos did was he took the world's gold. I was explaining what is the world's gold. It's gold from King Solomon. It's gold that the conquistadors in Spain gathered up from the Aztec and Inca civilizations. It is gold that was gathered by General Yamashita between World War I and World War II. And what the banks did when they gathered up the gold, they issued certificates to the wealthy people who had the gold. And those certificates had interest that was payable in gold. And the interest has been compounding. What Ferdinand Marcos did was he put the gold in a trust for benefit of humanity. And he said that the trust would be for 50 years. The reason he did this, he was a lawyer, and he knew that if somebody claims that they own something and they are not able to prove their claim for 50 years, that claim is extinguished. That's a legal concept called statute of limitations.
Actually, we don't know how much there is because now we have not been allowed to look into these accounts. The estimate that has been made was ranging from $5 billion to $10 billion. So.
You're entering the documents of the trial of the century.
Oh.
Here, 170 banks that Marcos deposited money on. These are the 350,000 documents used against me. Now, all of that, all the mines, all the banks of the world, 170 banks of the world. And I have the bill of lading. And these are all U.S. government exhibits. Just to show you the bill of lading, how much is
$240 million. Oh my goodness. Is it million? Billion?
Billion.
Billion? 240 billion?
Only one shipment. And these are plenty of shipments. And then five.
Look.
If only I had a photographic memory, I could tell you what it was. But it's all right. We can't show you. But it shows deposits in the name of Ferdinand Marcos in a bank in Brussels, and it's for $987 billion. 900. Can we show the camera?
No, please. That's sige na, oh. Well, I thank our team for the prayers for the vindication of the Marcoses and the Filipino people. Thank you.
The fans go out there now. Would you want to say something for the fans then?
Well, you should be very proud of your First Lady. She's a marvelous woman, a woman of great courage. She inspired us all. The evidence established without a doubt that she was utterly innocent, that it was a wrong charge, that it was politically motivated, and that was a shame.
Now that a jury has acquitted Ms. Marcos and the courts have spoken, I think we should put an end to all of these speculations and talks about criminal acts and liabilities committed by the Marcoses and start.
Sa simula pa lamang ng 1970, kumakalat na ang usap-usapan tungkol sa mga plano ni Presidente Ferdinand Marcos. Noon ay kahahalal pa lamang ni Marcos sa kanyang ikalawang term bilang Presidente ng Pilipinas. Sa ilalim ng konstitusyong umiiral noon, 2 term lang ang Presidente. Hindi na pwedeng tumakbo si Marcos sa pagka-Presidente sa 1973. Ayon sa usap-usapan, pinaplano na ni Marcos kung paano siya mananatili sa kapangyarihan. Ang kanyang Plan A, gawing parlamentaryo ang sistema ng gobyerno. Sa gayon, kung hindi na siya pwedeng maging presidente, ay pwede pa rin siyang manungkulan bilang Prime Minister. At ang Plan B, ayon pa rin sa kumakalat na usap-usapan, ideklara ang martial law, batas militar.
Yes, that is quite clear. In spite of any result of any constitutional convention, I have no intention of running for a third term.
Taong 1971, isang grupo ng mga Pilipino ang pinadala sa China ng Communist Party of the Philippines o CPP. Inatasan ni Joma Sison, chairman ng CPP, si Ricardo Malay na sumama sa sensitibong misyon. Nooy 28 taong gulang, ngayon ay 67 na at matalas pa rin ang alaala.
So nagpunta kami sa China with that, for that purpose, to principally to get military aid from China. Kaya naisip niya, the South China Sea. Doon, ang method was shipment sa South China Sea. So si Joma envisioned the Philippine Revolution to be somewhat like Vietnam. Joma envisioned the Philippine Revolution to be somewhat like Vietnam.
Naglayag mula China noong 1972. Dala nito ang mahigit 1,000 armas para sa umuusbong na New People's Army. Ngunit nahuli ang barko, nagkaengkwentro, at ngayon ay nasa ilalim na ng dagat.
Proclaimed martial law.
Isa ito sa ginamit na dahilan ni dating Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos para itiklara ang martial law.
Any threat against the seat of government and against the peace and order of our city.
Mga kababayan,
I had to assume our responsibility. And I am not one for shirking duty. The people said there was necessity for proclaiming martial law. And the people said, you are the only official who can proclaim martial law. So I proclaimed martial law. And I sincerely believe that it was necessary to proclaim martial law to install order and stability because there was complete anarchy throughout the country at the time.
Yan ang laging iisipin pag asenso mararating kung handa kang tiisin ang hirap at
President Emilio Aguinaldo was the grandfather of Prime Minister Cesar Virata, who is here. My grandfather only commanded the revolutionary forces. We have changed places since then. Incidentally, that statement allegedly made by Cardinal Sin has been denied by Cardinal Sin. I was surprised that you haven't heard about it. This just goes to prove that there is some time lag when you move towards the West. They tried to kidnap our foreign minister, Romulo, whom you just saw today. And I told him, you better disappear because I will not ransom you.
After the attack on Pearl Harbor, U.S. bases in the Philippines could not be defended. Why should we expect that in another war these bases would be more reliable?
That's one of the questions that I wanted to find out. If you're going to run out on us anyway, you better let us know now.
There is widespread malnutrition in the Philippines, and only 1/3 of your labor force has regular employment. Given this, how do you justify the prosperity in which you, your family, and friends live?
But you must like us, the way you ask those questions. Anyway, I don't know where you get your figures, but the unemployment figure in the Philippines is 4%. I don't know what's yours. I do know what's yours, but...
What do you say to critics who say your health is poor and you won't be around very long, but your wife may be?
Anybody want to try me in the ring?
Is it really true, as your biography states, that you were born in a thunderstorm?
How should I know? But my mother says so, yes. My mother says so, and I guess if you can't believe your mother, whom will you believe, huh?
Thank you very much.
Alam niyo ba noong December 16, 1975 ay inihayag ni dating Pangulong Ferdinand E. Marcos ang Presidential Decree No. 851 para sa lahat ng empleyado ay mabigyan ng 13-month pay bonus at upang magkaroon ng magandang selebrasyon tuwing Pasko at Bagong Taon. Ibig sabihin ay may dagdag na 8.33% sa sahod. Ito ay labis na ikinatuwa ng mga manggagawa at naging hanggang sa kasalukuyan. Pagkatapos ng EDSA Revolution, inihayag ni dating Pangulong Corazon C. Aquino noong July 25, 1987 ang Executive Order No. 273 upang ipatupad ang value-added tax o dagdag buwis na 10% sa mga pangunahing bilihin o serbisyo. Ito ay kabawasan sa sahod ng mga Pilipino at malaking kabawasan sa perang ipinapadala ng mga overseas Filipino workers. Kung tutuusin, parang nawala na ang 13-month pay bonus at may bawas pa na 1.67% sa sahod. Pagkatapos ng 17 taon, inihaay naman ni Senator Ralph Recto ang Republic Act 9337 noong July 26, 2004 upang ang 10% VAT ay gawing 12% at tinawag na itong Expanded Value Added Tax or EVAT. Parang nawala na nga ang 13-month pay bonus, lumaki pa ang bawas sa sahod mula 1.67% ay naging 3.67%. Di rin kawala ang padalang pera ng OFW kasi nababawasan din ng 12% dahil karamihan ng bilihin sa bansa ay may 12% EVAT. Sa panahon ni Marcos, damang-dama ang 13-month pay bonus. Ngunit pagkatapos ng EDSA Revolution, ito ay di na malayang nilamon na ng VAT. Pati padala ng OFW ay nabawasan na din ng 12%. Kaya huwag kalimutan na ang 13-month pay bonus ay regalo ni dating Pangulong Ferdinand E. Marcos.
Di kailanman masisira ang imahe ng dating Pangulong Ferdinand E. Marcos dahil sa kanyang 7 alas na nakakalat sa buong bansa. Simulan natin sa ika-7 alas na matatagpuan mula Quirino Avenue sa Maynila hanggang Southern Tagalog Arterial Road sa Santo Tomas, Batangas. Ito ay ang South Luzon Expressway or SLEX na ginawa noong 1970s. Ito ay may habang 60 kilometro at tinaguriang pinakauna sa Southeast Asia. Ang ika-6 na alas ni Marcos ay matatagpuan mula EDSA sa Quezon City hanggang Mabalacat, Pampanga. Ito ay ang North Luzon Expressway or NLEX na ginawa rin noong 1970s. Ito ay may habang 84 na kilometro at tinagurian ring pinakauna sa Southeast Asia. Kasama sa NLEX ang Candava Viaduct na tinaguriang pinakamahabang viaduct ng bansa sa habang 5 kilometro. Ang ika-5 alas ni Marcos ay matatagpuan mula Baclaran hanggang Monumento. Ito ay ang Manila Light Rail Transit System o mas kilalang LRT-1 na binuksan noong 1984. Tinagurian din itong pinakaunang light rail transit sa Southeast Asia. Ang ika-4 na alas ni Marcos ay matatagpuan sa Calawit Island sa Palawan. Ito ay ang Calawit Island Safari Park na binuksan noong 1976. Ito ay may lawak na 3.7 hectares at may 8 uri ng hayop na mula pa sa bansang Kenya. Tinagurian itong pinakaunang safari park sa Southeast Asia. Ang ika-3 alas ni Marcos ay matatagpuan sa pagitan ng Samar at Leyte. Ito ay ang San Juanico Bridge na binuksan noong 1973. Ito ay may habang 2.16 kilometers at tinaguriang pinakamahabang tulay ng bansa. Ang ika-2 alas ni Marcos ay matatagpuan sa probinsya ng Bataan. Ito ay ang Bataan Nuclear Power Plant na huling na inspeksyon para sa kaligtasan noong 1985 ng International Atomic Energy Agency. Inaasahan sanang makapagbigay ang planta ng 623 megawatt na kuryente, ngunit di pa rin ito binuksan simula noong nangyari ang 1986 EDSA Revolution. Ang nuclear power plant na ito ay tinaguriang pinakauna sa Southeast Asia. At ang pinakamalakas at numero 1 alas ni Marcos ay matatagpuan sa Visayas. Ito ay ang Leyte Geothermal Pilot Plant na binuksan noong 1977 at tinaguriang pinakauna sa Southeast Asia. Sa unang bahagi ng operasyon, ang planta ay nakapagbigay ng 3 megawatt na kuryente. Pero sa kasalukuyan, ang Leyte Power Plant ay nakapagbigay ng 700 megawatt na kuryente. Ang geothermal plant ay sinasabing pinakamalinis at pinakamurang paraan upang makapaglabas ng kuryente.
Ikaw si Jonathan, mahilig siya sa champi. Lalo yung mga bata. Yun ang gusto rin makainin yung mga bata. Lalo yung mga nasa lansangan, yung mga nagtitinda. Sabi ko sa kanya, Bay, gumawa ka ng YouTube channel. Sabi ko sa kanya, yung YouTube channel ang ginawa ngayon, ayan, kaHELPER. Si kaHELPER. Sa ginawa mo to, yung pagtulong mo sa mga mamamayan. Ayan na, saludo ko sa'yo. 2 kamay. Magmula sa araw na to, yung YouTube channel mo, i-announce ko na gabi-gabi na sa kantunin na lalaki. Ha? Hindi ka support? O ta, saludo, 2 kamay.